Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Gaur. Thank you very much, Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu Prabhu, for once again kindly being present here for session number 49 of our discussion on Srila Rupa Goswami's Upadeshamritam. So we are one session short of session number 50. Actually, technically, this is session number 50 because the first session we could not record. So today, technically, is our 50th session on Srila Rupa Goswami's Upadeshamritam. And it's a coincidence that today, on the 50th session, we will be beginning our discussion on the glories of Sri Vrindavan Dham. It's a good coincidence, but number-wise, since we could not record the first session, we are still on 49 right now. Thank you very much, dear devotees, for kindly being present here. I'm really very grateful to each and every one of you. It is Vaishnav culture to always give thanks to like-minded audience. So I'm very thankful to each and every one of you, because without each and every one of you, it would not be possible for me to discuss Sri Upadeshamritam in this manner. There is nobody else in the world with whom I can discuss this subject matter. Only the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are my hope in this regard. All of you are devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and for this reason, all of you perfectly complement this presentation. Thank you very much, dear devotees. You are the ornaments that decorate this presentation. We are continuing our journey into Srila Rupa Goswami's Upadeshamritam. I'm sharing my screen and you will be able to see it now. We are covering Sri Upadeshamritam in great detail. Before we begin, we'd like to ensure auspiciousness once again by performing Shanti pathah. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. May Bhagawan protect both of us, the teacher as well as the student. Sahana Bhunaktu, may he bestow the highest fruit of this study upon both of us. Sahaviryam Karvavahi, may both of us attain the strength to realize the highest truth. Tejasvi Navadhitamastu, may our study shine forth brilliantly. Ma Vidvishavahai, may we never envy each other. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May peace pervade the three words. Dear devotees, I'd also like to offer a verse of gratitude to Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada. Shri Gaura Chitta Gambhiryam Vetti Shri Rupa Evahi. Shri Rupa Chitta Gambhiryam Vetti Shri Gaura Evahi. Translation: only Shri Rupa Goswami knows the depths of the heart of Shri Gauranga, and only Shri Gauranga knows the depths of the heart of Shri Rupa Goswami. Dear devotees, we are on the 9th instruction. Vaikuntha Janito Vara Madhupuri Tatrapi Rasotsavat Vrandaranya Mudara Pane Ramanat Tatrapi Govardhana Radha Kundamihapi Gokulapate Premamrita Plavanat Puriyadasya Virajato Giritate Sevam Vivekinaka. Namaskar Mahaprabhu. Last time we covered the first part. Due to being the birthplace of Krishna, Mathura Mandal is superior to Vaikuntha. Now comes the second part. Prabhu, kindly read the translation which has been highlighted.
Even in Mathura Mandala, Vrindavana is superior due to the occurrence of the Rasa Leela festival.
Wonderful. Even in Mathura Mandal, Vrindavan is superior. What is the reason? Well, Srila Rupa Goswami says, Rasa Utsavat. Let's directly take the crest jewel of all reasons. And the crest jewel of all reasons is that the Rasa Leela festival occurred here. Dear devotees, there can be various reasons for Vrindavan being superior. Vrindavan is superior because Bhagawan's pastimes with his sakhas, with his dearmost friends also occurred here. Vrindavan is superior because Krishna's pastimes with his parents also occurred here. These are also valid reasons for Sri Vrindavan's superiority. But the topmost reason is that Sri Vrindavan is superior due to the occurrence of the Rasa Leela festival. Dear devotees, we have heard previously that due to being the birthplace of Krishna, Mathura Mandal is superior to Vaikuntha. Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu. Krishna was born in Mathura. Do the Vrajavasis agree to this? Please tell me.
No.
The Vrajavasis, for them, Sri Krishna was born in Vraja. The Vrajavasis are not at all aware that there was some personality whom Vasudev carried over, crossed the Yamuna, and brought into the home of Nanda Maharaj. What greater proof do we need? The gopis themselves say at the beginning of the Gopi Geet, Jayati Tedhikam Janmana Vraja. No greater proof is needed, dear devotees. It is not simply a Gaudiya Vaishnav understanding that Krishna's birth is in Vraja. Prabhu, kindly read the translation.
The gopi said, O beloved, your birth in the land of Vraja has made it exceedingly glorious.
So actually speaking, even his birth is in Vraja. And it's not simply an understanding of the Gaudiya Vaishnav Sampradaya, it is the understanding of the gopis. And whatever understanding the gopis have, that understanding is the topmost understanding for all of us Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So, dear devotees, Bhagavan's birth itself is in Vraja. But still somebody may say, but we have heard that he was born in Mathura and then Vasudev brought him here. So there is a secret behind the appearance of Sri Krishna. Those who wish to know the secret, there was a special video recorded on one of the Janmashtamis. You can see this video. It is available on my YouTube channel. It is called The Eternal Appearance of the Eternal Lord. Now, using charts and diagrams, I have shown how Krishna simultaneously appeared in Mathura as well as in Vraja, in Gokul. And what is the secret behind Krishna's simultaneous appearance in these two places? So, if I start discussing it here, the subject matter will become very long. So, I have given a hint as to where you can find it. You can find it in this particular talk. Dear devotees, if you wish to understand, then kindly refer to this talk. Now, there are many places in the world where Krishna appears in order to give pleasure to the devotees. There are many places in the world where Krishna appears to kill the demons. But there is one specific place where Krishna appears for his personal pleasure. Dear devotees, the place which is the personal abode of happiness of Sri Krishna, is Sri Vrindavan. Other abodes, such as Mathura, Dwarka, they appear in this world so that Krishna can reduce the burden of this world. Hastinapur, all these abodes, they appear so that they can facilitate Krishna in his official purpose to protect the devotees and to kill the demons and to protect dharma. But where does Krishna go for his personal happiness? So Krishna's personal happiness, dear devotees, is in Sri Vraja. This is proved by the direct words of Sri Shukadev Goswami in the Srimad Bhagavatam. When Krishna saw Vrindavan, Govardhan and Yamuna for the first time, what was his reaction? Sri Shukadev Goswami describes, Vrindavanam Govardhanam Yamuna Pulirani cha Vikshyasidutama Priti Rama Madhavayor Nripa. Vrindavanam, Govardhanam, Yamuna. The three great devotees who are serving Sri Krishna. Vrindavan itself is a devotee. Govardhan is the greatest of all devotees. And Yamuna herself is a devotee. These three devotees, seeing them, Uttama Priti, both of them developed great love. Who were both of them? Ram and Madhav, Sri Balaram and Sri Krishna. Prabhu, kindly read the translation.
O King Parikshit, when Balarama and Krishna saw Vrindavan, Govardhan, and the banks of the river Yamuna, they both enjoyed great pleasure.
For no other abode, Sri Krishna, is this fact mentioned. This fact is mentioned only and only for Sri Vrindavan. Vrindavanam, Govardhanam, Yamuna, Pulinani cha. This is God's personal abode of rest, relaxation, enjoyment with his near and dear ones. If the Supreme Personality of Godhead were to be given a choice as to where he likes to stay the most, this is that particular abode, dear devotees. Here, he stays for his own purpose, for his own happiness. And it is in Sri Vrindavan, Sri Govardhan, and Sri Yamuna that Krishna achieved the fulfillment of all of his desires. It was in Sri Vrindavan that Bhagawan Sri Krishna made up his mind. Made up his mind for what? Made up his mind for performing the Rasa Leela pastimes with the gopis. Sri Shukadev Goswami says in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Shri Badarayana Uvacha Bhagavan Pita Ratri Sharadotphulla Mallika Viksharantum Manaschakre Yogamayam Upashritaha. Bhagavan api, even Bhagavan, Taratrihi, seeing that night. Which night? Seeing those nights. Ratrihi is plural case. Seeing those nights. Which nights? Sharada Utphulla Mallika, which were scented with the blossoming jasmine flowers, autumn season. Viksha, seeing that. Bhagavan api, even Bhagavan, what to speak of others, even Bhagavan. Rantum Manas Chakre, Krishna made up his mind to perform Rasa Leela. Yogamayam Upashrita. And for this, he took help of his Yogamaya potency. Dear devotees, Manas Chakre, Bhagwan made up his mind. Rameshwar Mahaprabhu, in no other place in the Srimad Bhagavatam will you find that Bhagwan made up his mind, Manas Chakre, to do something. Only in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto only in relation to Sri Vrindavan and only in relation to performing Rasa Utsava, Rasotsavat. Does the Srimad Bhagavatam says Manas Chakre, Bhagwan voluntarily made up his mind in order to enjoy the pastimes of Rasalila. This was Bhagwan's personal enjoyment. He wanted to have this enjoyment. Otherwise, in all other places, he has been doing so many things for his devotees. He appeared in Mathura for fulfilling the promise that he had given to the earth and to Brahma, etc. But in Sri Vrindavan, this is for the first time that he is expressing the innermost desire. Manas Chakre, Bhagavan made up his mind. Prabhu, what is the meaning of Manas Chakre? Please tell me.
Making a decision.
Yes, Chakre made up Manas, his mind. He made up his mind. Please keep this in your mind. Please keep this in your mind. It's a very important phrase. Bhagavan made up his mind. Because it's important to understand how Krishna took birth in Vraja. This phrase is very intimately connected to that. Now, Bhagavan made up his mind to enjoy Rasalila. Before we enter into that, we should understand what is the definition of Rasa. Our Acharya, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, defines Rasa as follows. Nritya, Gita, Chumbana, Alingana Adinam, Rasanam Samuho Rasa. Rasanam Samuho Rasa. The combination of various rasas is known as Rasa. But what are these rasas? What are these mellows? The combination of various rasas derived out of Nritya, dance, Gita, songs, Chumbana, kissing, Alingana, embracing, Adi, etc. Whatever is written in etc. cannot be described in words. Therefore, he leaves it there. Is known as Rasa. So this is Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti. This is merely one definition of Rasa. There are definitions by Sri Jiva Goswami, Sri Sridhar Swami, Srila Sanatan Goswami, each and every definition giving a unique perspective to the entire pastime. And if I specify all those definitions in separate slides, it will take up a lot of time. Therefore, let's hear all of them together from one Acharya. Let's hear the various definitions of Rasalila from none other than Srila Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati Thakur himself, who gives these various definitions in one of his purports. Prabhuji, can you kindly read?
Yes, Prabhuji. The definition of Rasa Krida is given by Srila Sridhar Swami in his Bhavartha Deepika commentary on the Srimad Bhagavatam 10:33:1 as follows. Rasa Lila refers to a particular type of dance involving many women dancers. In his Brihat Vaishnava Toshani, Srila Sanatana Goswami gives the characteristics of the Rasa dance as follows. When many women join hands in a circle and are embraced around the neck by male dancers, it is called a Rasa dance.
Yes. So this is the same Acharya, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who appears, very strict when he is giving rules and regulations. But when he comes to these final three verses, we see Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur as a Param Rasik Acharya who knows and explains all the definitions of Rasalila. The first definition by Srila Sridhar Swami. It's a dance involving many women dancers. This is true for Rasalila. The second definition by Srila Sanatan Goswami. When many women join hands in a circle and are embraced around the neck by male dancers, it is called a Rasa dance. He continues. Prabhu, kindly read.
In the book named Sangitasara, it is stated, when a male dancer performs, being surrounded by a circle of many women dancers moving about, it is called Halishika. when a halishika dance is accompanied by various refined talas, beats, and tunes, dance steps, and gestures, it is called a rasa dance. As it does not exist even in heaven, what is the question of it existing on earth? In his Sartha Darshani commentary on the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.33.2, Sri Vishwanatha Chakravarti states, Rasa Krida refers to a mixture of ingredients such as dancing, singing, kissing, and embracing.
This last definition we saw in the original Sanskrit. But all other definitions put together in a single purport in his commentary on Chaitanya Bhagavata Adi Khanda, first chapter, verse number 22. In the beginning of Chaitanya Bhagavata, he has given all these definitions. Dear devotees, this is our Rasik Acharya, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So we now know what is the meaning of rasa. Basic meaning we have to keep in mind that Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gave. Rasanam samuho rasa. Combination of various rasas derived out of dancing, singing, kissing, embracing, etc. is known as rasa. That is what it is. Now, Bhagawan decided. Prabhu, once again, let's see the verse. Bhagavan apita ratri sharodotpulla mallika viksharantum manaschakre yogamayam upashritaha. Prabhu, once again, please read the translation.
Sri Shukadev Goswami said, seeing that the nights of the autumn season were scented with blossoming jasmine flowers, Bhagavan Krishna took help of his Yogamaya potency and made up his mind to perform Rasa Leela with the gopis.
Prabhu, what does manaschakre mean?
Made up his mind.
Sri Hari Suri says, look carefully. Manaschakre. Actually, he created a mind of his own, a new mind in Sri Vraja. His mind for personal enjoyment was created in Sri Vraja. And when the mind is created, again, the person takes birth again. A person cannot take birth without the creation of the mind. Therefore, Manaschakre means Bhagwan accepted a different mind altogether in Sri Vraja. And therefore, it is proved that Bhagavan actually appeared in Sri Vraja, because Bhagavan's mind for enjoyment was created in Vraja, not in any other place. Then he goes ahead and composes a beautiful verse. This verse is in the meter Shardula Vikriditam. Dear devotees, kindly hear carefully. Ananda bahavo bhavanti bhuvane Rajyadilo bhodbhava Swanandastu sa eka eva vimalo Yaschitta jato chraya Yasmat shadgunavanapi prabhurasau Yasyaptaye yogata Svechakre mana ityavochadapina Shriman munis tattvaved Ananda bahavo bhavanti bhuvane. There may be many types of joys in the world, dear devotees. Rajyadi lobhodbhava. Joys for variety of kingdoms, for wealth, etc. But what is that joy? Swanandastu sa eka eva vimalo. That personal joy in this world. Sri Hari Suri says, Chitta Jata. That joy which is produced by one's own mind, by volition. And Chitta Jata also means that which takes birth in the mind. What takes birth in the mind? Cupid, the desire for calm, takes birth in the mind. So, Chitta Jato Shraya. So, the desire for Cupid is the greatest joy in this world. Yasmat, and for this reason, Shad Gunavan Api, although he is Bhagavan, full of 6 qualities, Prabhu Rasau, our Sri Krishna, Yasyaptaya, he still wanted to enjoy this particular variety of happiness. Yogata, from his using his Yogamaya potency, Svi Chakre Mana, He created a new mind and he accepted a mind. Ityavochadapina. Even Shukdev Goswami says, Bhagawan himself also desired to enjoy Shriman Muni's Tattvavid. Why would Shukdev Goswami said Bhagawan Api? Sri Hari Suri says, even Bhagawan desired to enjoy. Because Vrindavan was so beautiful that it aroused in Bhagavan a desire to enjoy. That Bhagavan who elsewhere is Aptakama, fulfilled in all desires. Sri Vrindavan created a desire in Sri Bhagavan to enjoy the Rasa Leela pastimes. Dear devotees, this is Bhagavan's personal desire fulfilling ground, Sri Vrindavan. Therefore, Sri Rupa Goswami is saying, Rasotsavad Vrindaranyam. Because of Rasa Leela pastimes, Vrindavan is greater than Mathura. When we study the literature of the previous acharyas, we come to know that the Rasa Leela takes place on 4 different occasions. What are the 4 different occasions? And where are they exactly mentioned in Shastra or the literature of our acharyas? I will specify now, dear devotees. The first Rasa Leela that takes place is called Nitya Ras. Nitya Ras is that which goes on eternally every night in the spiritual world, as well as in a hidden way in Bhauma Vrindavan, in Vrindavan, which is not visible to our eyes. And the proof for this is given in the Puranas, in the literature of the Acharyas. Profuse number of proofs are there. But I have highlighted one proof. Nityam Rasa Mahotsavam, the Padma Puran, Patal Khand 74, chapter verse 51, says that Rasa Leela goes on eternally. In Sri Vrindavan, this is called as Nitya Ras. This is the first variety of Ras, dear devotees. The second variety of Ras is called as Sharadiya Ras. This is the Rasa Leela which is described in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Because we saw the verse Sharadot Phulla Mallika. The jasmine flowers were blossoming in the autumn season. So Sharad, so Sharadiya Ras. So in the 10th canto, the Rasa Leela which took place in the autumn season is called Sharadiya Ras. And we know that in this Rasa Leela, Krishna disappeared from the Gopis' vision. And this usually is celebrated on Sharad Purnima. So this is the second Rasa that is described in Shastra. The third Rasa is called Haimantika Ras or Kartik Ras. In our Vaishnav calendar, this is also known as Sri Krishna Rasa Yatra. Now, this takes place on the Purnima of the Kartik Mas, which means at the end of Kartik Mas. Sharad Purnima is at the beginning of Kartik Mas. And Kartik Purnima is at the end of Kartik Mas. So, after Kartik Mas is over, so that Purnima is known as Sri Krishna Rasa Yatra. And this is mentioned by our Gaudiya Vaishnav Acharya. Sri Murari Gupta mentions this Kartika Ras in his Sri Krishna Chaitanya Charitamrita, in his biography of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in 4.9.5, he mentions it. It is called Haimantika because it is related to Hemanta. Hemanta is pre-winters. The pre-winters have started. So this is another day, another night on which Rasa Leela took place. And finally, there is also what is known as Vasantika Ras. Now, this Rasa Leela takes place in the spring season and usually on the day of Holi. In this Rasa Leela, it is described in Anand Vrindavan Champu and other literature. Sri Baladev also enjoys Rasa Leela with his gopis on this occasion. On other occasions also he enjoys, but specifically on this occasion. And this is mentioned in the Chaitanya Bhagavata Adi Khand, first chapter, verse 23. So these are the four main types of Rasa Leela. So Rasa Leela can be categorized in hundreds and thousands of ways. But these are the four main categorizations of Rasa Leela that have been mentioned in different places in the literature of our acharyas. Now, in this final Vasantika Ras, sometimes Srimati Radharani disappears from Sri Krishna's vision. Sometimes she steals the flute of Bhagwan Sri Krishna. Many pastimes take place in Vasantika Ras. Krishna and Balaram both enjoy Rasa Leela on Vasantika Ras day. And then there are the other three rasas, Nitya Ras, Sharadiya Ras, Haimantika Ras, or Kartika Ras. These are the various Rasa Leelas that are described in the literature of our acharyas. Before the Rasa Leela began, Bhagawan, first and foremost, wanted to attract the minds of the gopis. Therefore, Sri Krishna began doing something. The Srimad Bhagavatam describes Jagau Kalam Vamadrisham Manoharam. Krishna played a sweet tune, Kalam, that attracted Manoharam, the minds of the beautiful eyed gopis, Vamadrisham. Krishna played a very sweet tune on the flute, and it attracted the minds of the beautiful eyed gopis. Prabhuji, why did Krishna want to attract the gopis' minds?
Because he'd made up his own mind to have the Rasa Leela festival.
Wonderful. The Rasa Leela cannot take place unless there is love between both parties and unless there is willingness in both parties. Krishna's mind is willing. Now, he wants to have the gopis also attracted to the same pastime. This is one good reason, Prabhu. But there is another deeper reason. Would you like to know, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Okay. So our commentator, Sri Hari Suri, composes a wonderful verse in the meter Arya. Ma bhudasa manura kyadharma samsparsha ityanantatma sukrita sukrita nidanam mana evadau jahar satitya mana evadau jahar satitya. Rameshwar Mahaprabhu, Ma bhud asam anurapi adharma samsparsha. Ma bhud, Krishna is thinking, in future, many people will put an allegation upon the gopis that the gopis engaged in adharma. What is adharma, Prabhu?
Irreligion.
Yes. Even Parikshit Maharaj will become confused and he will ask, why did Bhagwan Sri Krishna behave in this way? Why did the gopis behave in this way? Ma bhuda samanurapi. Let nobody cast an allegation upon the gopis. Krishna, you can cast any allegation, but upon the gopis, upon the devotees, let nobody cast any allegation that they have engaged in adharma. Therefore, Krishna did something. Prabhu, all dharma and adharma is caused by which sense organ?
The mind.
Therefore, Krishna first and foremost stole away their minds. So at least on the part of the gopis, there will be no question of adharma. Krishna took away all the adharma upon himself, dear devotees. And this is the reason why Krishna first and foremost stole their minds. So kindly read the translation.
Let there not be the slightest touch of impiety for these gopis. Thinking in this way, the Lord of unlimited living entities used his flute play to steal away the minds, the root cause of all piety and impiety in this world.
When the mind itself has been stolen away by Sri Krishna, then will any piety or impiety affect the gopis? And the answer is no. Therefore, dear devotees, the gopis are completely spotless and faultless in this entire Rasa Leela. And Sri Krishna ensured that at the very beginning by forcibly snatching away their minds. Then the gopis approached Sri Krishna. They ran away from their families. Some were prohibited by their relatives, their husbands. Some forcibly ran out in the middle of the night. And they came in the middle of the forest. See, giving up your family in the middle of the night means you cannot go back so easily. They have given up their families and they approach Sri Krishna in the middle of the night and Sri Krishna says something to them, and this is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Rajanyesha ghora rupa ghora sattva nishevita pratiyata vrajanneha stheyam stribhi sumadhyama. Rajanyesha ghora rupa. This night is quite frightening. Ghora sattva nishevita. And frightening creatures are lurking about. Pratiyata vrajam. Return to Vraja. Return to your homes. Nehasteyam stribhi sumadhyama. This is not a proper place for slender-waisted girls. So return back to your homes. Rameshwar Mahaprabhu, should we say something to Sri Krishna for being so cruel in the middle of the night?
I don't know, Prabhuji.
Which type of Bhagawan, first and foremost, plays on the flute and attracts everybody's mind, and when the gopis come in front of him, then he says, go away, go back to your homes.
Only Sri Krishna.
And what should we do with such a cruel-hearted Bhagavan?
I don't know, Prabhuji.
We should speak some caustic words, some spicy words to Sri Krishna. Otherwise, he'll never understand what he has done. The commentator is unable to stop himself from speaking a few words to Sri Krishna. The commentator takes sides with the gopis and speaks what is in the mind of the gopis. Asmatto sulabham yadadadhipayo yasi tadaityālayam bhūtva dainyamukha sakhe muhuraho tad prarthanamachara sarvasvarpanamadya kalpitamape tvam naiva grahnasi tat yuktam pritiralabdha vastu nipunar labdhe tvanasthodaya asmatto sulabham yadha dadhipayo. Krishna, you remember your childhood. Dadhipayo, when yogurt, milk, etc. Asulabham was not easily available to you. At that time, asmatto, you used to come to us. You used to come to our homes. And you used to come to our parents and tadaiti alayam. And after coming to our homes, bhutva dainya mukha, used to make a pitiable face like we are making today in front of you. Dainya mukha, with a pitiable face, sakhe, oh friend, muhuraho tat prarthana, you used to pray for giving yogurt and milk. Krishna, this was your condition back then. Sarvasvarpana madhya kalpitamapi. Today we are willing to give everything to you. Our entire lives we are willing to give to you. Our entire existence we are willing to dedicate to you. Apitvam naiva grihnasi. But look at you now. Tvam naiva grihnasi. You are not willing to accept this. Yuktam, yes, it is correct, Krishna. Pritiralabdha vastuni. People become attached only to things which are not easily available. Punar labdhe, and things which are easily available. And people who are easily available, anasthodaya. People do not give them so much respect. Krishna, it is proved today by your behavior. This is the translation. Dear friend Krishna, when yogurt, milk, etc. were not easily available to you at your home, you would make a pitiable face and come asking for it at our homes. Seems that those days are long gone. Today, when we wish to offer you our entirety, you are not accepting our offer. Indeed, we realize today that it is the nature of humans to have extreme attachment to objects that are not easily available. Whereas if the same objects become easily available, then one quickly develops disrespect towards them. In this way, the commentator gives sarcastic words to Sri Krishna. He doesn't stop there. Rameshwar Mahaprabhu, what did Krishna tell the gopis? Please tell me.
I can't repay you for all your service.
That's later. Right now, he's saying, go back. Go back where? Go back to your homes.
Go back to your homes.
Yes. In the Sanskrit language, the term home is known as samsar. Go back to your samsar. Sri Hari Suri doesn't stop here. He composes another verse which speaks the minds of the gopis. This verse is in the meter Shikhari. Shirasyamadhayaiva vrajata punarityo Vrajamasvange ham swamati saralanam yagatika padam de praptanam bhuvina punaravritiritiya taya shrutya kvetas sadayavada gantam yamadhuna. Krishna said to the gopis, return back to your samsara. Go back to your homes. Sri Hari Suri takes the side of the gopis and says, all right, Sri Krishna. Shirasyadhayaiva, we take your order and put it on our heads respectfully. What is the order? Vrajata puna, go back to your samsara. Ityukti mihate, this is your order. Vrajama swamge ham, today we will go back to our samsara. Krishna, we will go back, no problem. Why? Ati sarala, we are very simple-hearted. Ananya gatika, and we have no other hope besides following your orders. But remember, Krishna, today we will go back to our samsara, our homes. Padam te praptanam bhuvina punaravritiritiya. But there are other wives of you who had made big proclamations. Who are these wives? They say Shrutya. The Shrutis, the four Vedas, are the wives of Sri Krishna. And the Vedas, the four Shrutis, had made a big proclamation. Rameshwar Mahaprabhu, do you know what proclamation the Shrutis had made, the wives of Krishna had made? That anybody,
once you go to the supreme abode, you never return.
Once you approach Krishna, you never have to come back to samsara again. Once you have approached Sri Krishna, you never have to return to samsara again. Oh Krishna, your wives were proclaiming, the Shrutis were proclaiming this. Today we will go back to our samsara. But please tell your wives, your Shrutis, today they will not be able to go back to their homes. Why, Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu? Why will the Shrutis not be able to go back to their homes?
They haven't kept their promise.
So what? The four Vedas are staying in which abode, Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu? On whose planet are the four Vedas?
I don't know, Prabhuji.
Who has the four Vedas on four sides?
Brahma.
What is the name of Brahma's planet?
Satyaloka.
So, what is the meaning of Satya?
Truth.
So, there should be no entry for people who speak lies in Satyaloka. Today, we will go back to our samsara. But tell your wives, the Shrutis, today they have spoken lies. And there is no entry in Satyaloka for people who speak lies. In this way, he makes a very sarcastic remark on Sri Krishna. Prabhu, kindly read the translation.
O Lord, you say to us, return back to your samsara, homes. We are simple-hearted ladies, and we respectfully keep this order of yours on our heads. Today we will go back to our samsara, homes, for we have no other refuge besides following your orders. Tell us, however, O Lord, your wives, the Shrutis, proudly proclaimed that one who surrenders unto you will never have to return back to samsara, the material world again, ever again. O Lord, will these Shrutis be able to go back to their homes today?
So there is a big sarcastic comment made on behalf of the gopis. The commentator takes sides with the gopis and makes a sarcastic remark on Sri Krishna. Of course, the gopis pleaded with Sri Krishna that, you're so beautiful by looking at your arms, by looking at your curly hair, by hearing your flute. We have no other choice remaining in life. Who will not be deviated from the path of dharma? Which lady will not be deviated from the path of dharma? By hearing your Venu Geet. Sri Krishna, we are completely in love with you. Please do not send us back. When Sri Krishna heard these words of glorification by the gopis, Sri Krishna was very happy and accepted the proposal. Sri Krishna said, and is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukdev Goswami described, smiling upon hearing these despondent words from the gopis, Lord Krishna, the supreme master of all masters of mystic yoga, mercifully enjoyed with them, although he is self-satisfied. Now, Sri Shukdev Goswami says, although he is self-satisfied, he enjoyed with them mercifully. But the reality is that he himself also wanted to enjoy. Therefore, Manas Cakre, he had made up his mind that he wants to enjoy on these nights of the autumn season. Meshwar Mahaprabhu, the Rasa dance began, and we should get to hear some of the sounds that came from the Rasa dance. Would you like to hear, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Right. Dear devotees, this is a very unique verse, and I'll try to sing it. This verse is in the meter Vidyun Mala. Abhuvanatraya manasaranjam prattamudunnati nirjita janjam tajagruhar harinupur shinjam. Prabhu, did you hear the sound?
I heard the sound of the verse.
Okay. Okay, I'll clarify the verse, Prabhu. Abhuvanatraya manasaranjam. The gopis heard the sound, manasaranjam, which delights the minds of the three worlds. Prattamut. This sound gave them great joy. Unnati nirjita jhanjam. And this sound gradually took over the tinkling of their ankle bells. Dear devotees, I'll sing it once again. Please sing along with me. Abhuvanatraya manasaranjam prattamudunnati nirjita jhanjam tajagruhur harinupur shinjam jum 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 jum. So the ankle bells of Bhagwan Sri Krishna, its sound started coming in the form of the final line which describes that sound. Dear devotees, this is a very sweet verse from a very rare literature named Amod Mahakavyam by Gaudiya Vaishnava, whose name was Sri Anupa Narayana Bhattacharya. He wrote this kavya, this poetry on the Rasalila, and with great difficulty, one edition of this was published. This book has never been translated yet, and this is the first time I am showing this verse, dear devotees. It's a very special verse which gives the sounds of Bhagwan Sri Krishna's ankle bells during the Rasa Leela. Sri Hari Suri continues to describe something. It's so nice. Dear devotees, please hear the verse. Rameshwar Mahaprabhu Prabhu, please see what he's saying. Kesha mukta guno mukta nadbhutam suratotsave chitram mukta punar mukta mukta sumanasopiya cha. In the Rasa Leela, what happened? Kesha mukta, the kesha, the hairs of the gopis were liberated. Guno mukta, the gunas, the strings of their clothes were all liberated. Nadbhutam, nothing surprising about it. Because it is Surasotsave, it's a festival of love. Chitram, what is amazing is, what surprises me is, Mukta, Punar Mukta, even the Mukta, pearls, got Mukta, liberated. Mukta, Sumanaso Picha, and even the Sumanasa, the flowers, got liberated. Did you like the verse, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
But it is not Sri Hari Suri unless there is amazement in the verse, Prabhu. What is the amazement in the verse?
Sorry, Prabhuji.
Okay.
I'm a little distracted by our child.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Will you repeat the question, please?
Okay. Kesha Mukta, Guno Mukta. The Kesha, the hair of the gopis were liberated. Gunas, the strings of their clothes were liberated. Na Adbhutam, nothing surprising. Chitram, what is surprising is even the Mukta, the pearls got liberated. And even the Sumanasas, the flowers got liberated. There has to be an element of surprise, otherwise it is not Sri Hari Suri. Would you like to know, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Kesha Mukta. Kesha. The meaning of Kesha is hair. But the hidden meaning of Kesha is Ka refers to Brahma. And Isha, Brahma is whose head? All the gods. Kesha Mukta. Ka Isha. Brahma is whose Lord. All the gods were liberated on seeing the Rasa Leela. Guno Mukta. The gunas were all liberated. The modes of material nature were liberated. Nothing surprising about it. Chitram, what surprises me? Mukta api mukta. Even those who are muktas, the impersonalists who consider themselves liberated, they actually got liberated when they heard of Sri Rasa Leela. And mukta sumanaso picha. And even the sumanasas, manasas, those whose minds are very beautiful, the devotees, the sadhakas, they also got liberated on hearing Sri Rasa Leela. The verse has two different layers of meanings, and it generates immense joy for somebody who understands both the meanings. Dear devotees, we are on this journey of Srila Rupa Goswami's Upadeshamritam, and we wish to follow in the footsteps of the gopis of Sri Vrindavan. But please try to understand, and I'll repeat this very important message that I had spoken a few weeks ago. Dear devotees, in order to follow in the footsteps of Sri Rupa Goswami, we'll have to make a big sacrifice. And this sacrifice is as follows. Yadraganuga vartma vidhitadiram guhyati guhyam tatha Shri Rupangrinakhindu nisritalasa jyotsnaika vidyotitam samstha shishadhana prasiddhi janitam hitva sadadambarams Tvam mangshu shrayavartma tanmama mana Shri Gaura Bhakta Priyam Yad Raganuga Vartma. Please know, dear devotees, that the path of Raganuga Bhakti, Tadidam Guhyati Guhyam, is a most confidential path. Shri Rupa Angri Nakha Indu Nisrita Lasa Jyotsna Eka Vidyotitam. And it is illuminated exclusively by the brilliant moonlight emanating from the moonlight toenails of Sri Rupa Goswami. Samstha Shishya Dhana Prasiddhi Janitan Hitva Sada Adamba. Mind giving up all fraudulent displays of vanity born out of institutions, disciples, wealth, and fame. Tvam Mankshu, immediately, Shraya Vartmatam. Take shelter of this path. Mama Mana, dear mind, if you wish to follow this path, take shelter of Sri Rupa Goswami, giving up all fraudulent displays of vanity. Because Sri Gaura Bhakta Priyam, this path is extremely dear to the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. With this, dear devotees, I'll pause my speech for today. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Yadatra Skhalitam Kinchit Vidvam Saha Purayantu Tat. Yadatra Saushthavam Kinchit Tad Guroreva Me Nahi. Yadatra Skhalitam Kinchit. If there are any mistakes that I made with Vamsa, you're all learned devotees, Purayantu Tat. Please correct those mistakes. Yadatra Saushthavam Kinchit. But whatever was nice in the presentation, please remember Tat Guroreva. All of it belongs to my Gurujanas. Me Nahi. Doesn't belong to me. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, dear Hari Prashna Prabhu, for a very beautiful and astonishing presentation about Bhagavan's supreme pastimes. Very grateful to be here with you and with all the devotees. We'll transfer now to questions and answers. And we'll just request the devotees to focus on today's topic. Try to keep your questions short or come back later to ask again. And
if you want to ask another question, just.
And thirdly, not to point out any particular person or institution in your questions.
Sure.
With that,
Okay.
Anything
So, Prabhu, should I take over the moderation for some time?
It's fine. My wife is with the baby. I hope the background sound's not too disturbing.
Oh, it's okay. All right, let's begin, Prabhu.
Okay. Our first question is from Tanvi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes. First of all, thank you so much for such a relishing lecture. So my question was that as you described about the Ras Leela, so we also see that there are different categories of gopis and also manjaris and different types of gopis, like Chandravari's camp is there, Radharani's camp is there. So my question was that what is the position of manjaris in the Ras, and like at one time all the categories of gopis, like how is it exactly performed?
There is a technical term amongst the devotees. It is called Panchayat Ras or Panchayati Ras, where 5 different categories of gopis, they came together and Sri Krishna invited them all for performing Rasa Leela. So that is called Panchayati Ras. But who are the manjaris? They are assistants to the gopis. They are younger than the gopis, and they help Srimati Radharani and the various gopis achieve their desires. So in short, this is what the seva of the manjaris is all about.
Okay, so next we have Kripa Rama, I assume Prabhu.
Yeah, Kripa Rama.
Dandavat, Hari Prasad Prabhuji, Dandavat, all the Vaishnavas. My question is about the Rasa Leela that you explained today. Some commentators say that Lord Balaram enjoyed when he came again to Vrindavan with the Rasa Lila, with the same gopis that Lord Krishna danced. But other commentators say that Lord Balaram have a different group of gopis. I want to know your opinion about that.
No, it's not my specific opinion, because those gopis who are attracted to Sri Krishna, they are attracted to Sri Krishna. One of the gopi was Srimati Radharani. Let's take the example of Srimati Radharani herself. She will always be attracted to Sri Krishna and to nobody else. It is very clear from the writings of the Acharyas that those gopis who performed Rasa Leela with Sri Krishna were not the gopis who performed the Rasa Leela with Sri Balaram. So, Sri Balaram has a different set of gopis. And Sri Kavi Karnapur in his Anand Vrindavan Champu and other acharyas in their respective work, they have described that Balaram has his own separate set of gopis and Sri Krishna has his own separate set of gopis. Because, the main gopis such as Srimati Radharani, etc., why will they, why will those gopis be attracted to anybody else besides Sri Krishna? So I'm not sure where this opinion came from, but at least it is not the Gaudiya Vaishnav Acharya's opinion. So that is the answer to it. Right?
Thanks a lot, bro.
Next we have Samarpana Gopa Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Thank you. Thank you so much for the explanation, Prabhuji, of that one word in that verse about the importance and the details of what it means and how it is most important pastime. I was just curious to understand this, Prabhuji. So I am expressing myself. Is that it's very, very pleasing to hear the reflections of Param Pujya Hari Suri ji from you, and in today's session as well as the previous session where he was explaining about the glories of Krishna's birth and what all things happened all over, verses after verses. It was so joyful to hear the description as well as today's description of the other side of so from Pujya Hari Suri ji. My curiosity is the acharyas like Srila Vishwanath and others like Sanatana Goswami, they also have written commentaries on this. So I personally have not, maybe I have read once, just glanced through. I don't even remember much now. So I just was curious to know that they also have written such depths, or Hari Suri ji is extremely unique in his depth of this pastimes.
So that's a good question. The acharyas of the Gaudiya Vaishnav Sampradaya, Sri Jiva Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, in their respective commentaries have given lots of depth, lots of details about the Leela and the reasons behind the Leela that took place. Sri Hari Suri's angle of looking at things is very different, because he finds hidden reasons for every particular pastime. For example, when Sri Krishna will disappear from the middle of the gopis will go to various trees, Ashwatha, the people tree, and mango tree, tulsi plant. They will go to many trees and they will ask if they saw Krishna. For every tree or plant, he will give 2 or 3 reasons. Why did they go to that particular tree? His commentary is exploring hidden reasons behind almost each and everything that Sri Krishna did. For example, when the gopis go to the Ashwatha tree, the people tree, sometimes it's translated as banyan, but actually it is people tree. So they go to the Ashwatha tree, and the first tree they go to is Ashwatha. They ask Ashwatha, have you seen Sri Krishna? So Sri Hari Suri enters into their minds and expresses their feeling. He says, oh Ashwatha, dear devotees, please hear carefully. Oh Ashwatha, you are samsar rupa. Oh Ashwatha, you are samsar rupa, and if this is true, please show us samsar rupa. That's what he says. That's it. That's what he says. And what is the secret? Oh Ashwatha, you are samsara rupa. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has said that this material world is like an Ashwatha tree. So the Ashwatha is the personification of the universe, samsara rupa. If this is true, oh Ashwatha, please show us some sara rupa, some, the complete sar, essence of all rupas, of all forms, Sri Krishna. Oh Ashwatha, if you are samsara rupa, show us samsara rupa. So behind every tree and every plant, he has given so many reasons, but they're very difficult to decode the hidden meanings behind what he's saying. So Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, they've written their commentary to make things easy for the readers. Sri Hari Suri is not a teacher like that. He has purposely made it difficult so that you will not be able to understand easily. And I like that sort of a teacher because he forces you to meditate upon the pastime again and again. He'll not give the dual meanings of the terms where he has hidden something that you have to figure it out. Like in today's class, he said, today we will go back to our homes, but tell your wives, the Vedas, they will not be able to go back to their homes. The entire reasoning behind that was not revealed. The reasoning behind that you have to do the hard work to figure it out. That's why it is Rasayanam. Rasayanam means it's an Ayurvedic medicine. You have to crush it, you have to take it out, you have to crush it, you have to mix it properly. Then only you'll get the proper medicine. That's why it's called Bhakti Rasayanam. So these are some similarities and differences, Prabhuji. But each commentator has a very unique contribution. And Srila Prabhupada in his purport to 1.1.1 of Srimad Bhagavatam says that we should study from all the commentators' point of view. So that is my answer. I hope that answer satisfies your query. Thank you.
Next we have Vishwadeep Roy Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam. Today's class was quite clear, but it's full of so much nectar. It's really satisfying to heart. Thank you for the class. So I do not have any question specifically from the class, but I just want to know the meter of the verse of the sound of Rasa. So that
I thought it was Vidyunmala. It is similar to Vidyunmala, but it is not Vidyunmala. It is something similar. Let me try to figure it out. I'll try to remember the name, but it is similar to Vidyunmala because Vidyunmala also has the same tune, and this particular meter also has the same tune. So, have you heard Vidyunmala, Prabhuji?
No, Prabhuji.
Right, because Vidyunmala is Sarve Varna Dirgha Yasya Vishrama Syad Veder Veder Chando Detar Vidvat Vrindar Vyakhyata Sa Vidyunmala. So all syllables are Guru. That is what it is. This is similar. It is, this also begins with Vidyun. Some people call it Dodhaka. The meter name is Dodhaka, but it's very similar to Vidyunmala. That is the answer to the query. Right. I'm typing the name here in the chat box. This is the name of the meter, Dodhaka. Right. Thank you.
Next we have Mohit Deshmukh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam. Thank you so much for this wonderful katha. I'm very grateful to you. And yes, my question was, I have read somewhere that the gopis who were performing Ras Leela with Balaram, Sri Balaram, it was in, I think so, Garga Samhita. So there it was said that they were Naga Kanyas. So can you elaborate on this point?
They were
These
Naga Kanya.
gopis.
See, Prabhuji, Garga Samhita as a literature has never been quoted by the Gaudiya Vaishnav Acharyas. Never. The Gaudiya Vaishnav Acharyas have quoted Garga Smriti, not Garga Samhita. Garga Smriti is completely different. But Garga Samhita was never quoted by the Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas. Therefore, whatever the Gaudiya Vaishnav Acharyas have said, that I can tell you. But I personally myself do not refer much to Garga Samhita because not even once have the six Goswamis quoted it. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur might have quoted it once or twice in a few places, but the six Goswamis have never quoted the Garga Samhita. It seems, I am not saying with surety, it seems that some verses or pastimes were added later to it. And for this reason, because if it was such a important book, it should have been present at the time of the Goswamis. And the Goswamis should have at least made one passive mention of it. But in none of the literature of the six Goswamis do we find a mention of Garga Samhita. It is, I respect the literature, but at the same time, I would be a little hesitant to take any statement from there as Siddhantik. I'll tell you one thing which is there in Garga Samhita, that this Shankachuda, basically, this pastime happened because somebody was cursed in the spiritual world and they fell down and they became a demon, something like that. So this goes against everything that we have learned till now. That people get cursed in the spiritual world and then they fall down into the material world. And because this doesn't happen like that, right? And also, so, the understanding of the spiritual world that is given by Sri Vyasadeva, that is perfect. Nobody falls, it is all in line with Vedanta. In some literature where we start seeing such points being put ahead, then I just respectfully, I keep a distance. Right? So, what the acharyas have mentioned is that Sri Balaram has a separate set of gopis and Sri Krishna has a separate set of gopis. That is what, right?
There is not more information about the gopis of Sri Balaram, right?
There is some information in some of the songs of Bengali songs, etc. And maybe in one of the Ganudesh Deepikas, I'm not sure, but I have heard some of them in the songs of the other Bengali Padakartas or other songwriters from Gaudiya Vaishnavas. But nothing in great detail, as much as because the main focus has been towards Sri Krishna. That is what.
Yes.
Right? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Next, we have Golokadam Gaurahari Prabhu.
Very good.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for the lecture. Maybe you switch off the sound on your side. Sorry. You were mentioning the four. Yes, okay. You were mentioning the four type of Rasa Lilas in the spring, before Kartik, after Kartik, and every night. Could you mention about the place? Where do they take? Are the one that take place every night in many different places in Vraja? Are some particular residents in particular places?
Okay. So I will try my best to answer this query as far as I know. The Sharat Purnima Ras Leela, the acharyas have said that it took place on Vamshi Vata. Srimad Rasa Rasarambhi Vamshi Vata Tatasthitah Karshan Venu Swanair Gopi Gopinathah Shriyestunah. This verse is the praman for where the Charadiya Ras took place. Nitya Ras, the acharyas have indicated that Nitya Ras takes place in, there are that place which you in Sri Vrindavan, where we go, getting the name, Seva Kunj, Seva Kunj, and just next to Seva Kunj is one place where Nitya Ras takes place with one set of gopis. In Sri Krishna Chaitanya Charita Mahakavyam, there is another place, Brahmakund, where Brahmakund is mentioned as another place where Bhagwan Sri Krishna performs Nitya Ras with Srimati Radharani, etc. Then the Vasantik Ras, that is the spring season Ras, takes place on the banks of the Yamuna because there is basically they need water to throw on each other. So on the banks of the Yamuna that takes place. It is holy season. So that is where it takes place. And then which Ras remains? Kartik Ras or Hemantik Ras. The Kartik Ras or Hemantik Ras, as far as I remember, it was so Kartik Ras was at Ashok Van. Kartik Ras was at Ashok Van. And so once again, I'll explain. See, Nitya Ras takes place in Govardhan, and it in the eternal spiritual world, it takes place in Govardhan, and it takes place in some places in Sri Vrindavan. Sharadiya Ras, it took place at Vamshi Vata. Kartik Ras, it takes place at Ashok Van. And fourth one is Vasantik Ras, takes place near Yamuna. These are the 4 places which have been given by the acharyas. So I hope that satisfies your query, Prabhuji. Nidhi, yeah, Nidhi 1. Yes, Nidhi 1 is the place, one place where Nitya Ras takes place. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hari.
Next we have Kamala Devi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji, and Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam to all the Vaishnavas. Really eagerly was waiting for this session, and really very thankful to you for giving such beautiful insights. And these lectures have motivated me to read the scriptures more more diligently and more carefully, and taking proper time to chew it, just not just reading it like any other fictional novel or something like that. So I'm really grateful to you, Prabhuji. I don't have any question as such. I had a question, but I think you answered it. So thank you so much, but really want to appreciate you and all the Vaishnavas who ask so many beautiful queries. I cannot thank all of you enough. I'm really grateful to all this beautiful association. Thank you so much. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Next we have Mandri Devi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, my pranam. Thank you so much for another class full of wonderful nectar. My question is about your intention to present this amazing literature of Hari Suri Prabhu in English. What's your plan? Because I see comments coming that when is it coming in English? When is it coming in English? Can you say something about that? What's your intention so that leave you alone until it's time?
The good news is that when I published it, the first 7 chapters were published in the first volume. And the 3rd chapter is the biggest one, which has 191 verses explaining the various reasons behind his birth. Wind started blowing, the fire started burning, the river started flowing. That is the biggest chapter. There is a Vaishnavi, a learned Vaishnavi who is trained in Hindi as well as Sanskrit, and she knows English translation. So I wanted that combination, and I found it in one particular Vaishnavi devotee. She has done the first 3 chapters. So as soon as she completes the first 7 chapters, we are ready for printing the first volume of English Bhakti Rasayanam. And this book is very dear to my Guru Maharaj because he used to often read from these verses and he used to translate some of them. But I wanted to do a systematic translation because there is no commentary upon Bhakti Rasayanam. And the verses have a lot of cryptic meaning. So I wanted to do it because I don't know when it will get done. But at least in this generation, I should try to do it. And I felt some reciprocation from Sri Hari Suri when I went to his place in Nasik. I went to his Samadhi. And usually when I give class, usually there are 40 people, 50 people. Sometimes there may be 100 people. The first time I gave a class in Nasik, there were 1,200 people who came to hear, although it was the first time I was speaking there. And on the second day, his 5th generation descendant, Sri Sudarshan Kulkarni, he also came to visit and hear the katha. So these were good indications that he had noticed. I'd like to do that as a service to him. I'm sure if I do it in Hindi, somebody will be able to do it in English. Therefore, I'm doing it in Hindi so that people all over the world will sooner or later get it in English. That is what the plan is. It's in progress. Please give me 1 year and I'll bring it out very soon. Thank you.
Fantastic news. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
So just to clarify, Prabhuji, Mataji is translating while you're writing a commentary?
I translated the verses in Hindi with a commentary in Hindi. She's taking that Hindi, she's translating it into English. That's what she's doing. So I have translated the first 7 chapters into Hindi. The original is in Sanskrit. She's looking at the Sanskrit and the Hindi translation, and she's doing an English translation. Because the greatest effort was in translating it from the Sanskrit. There's only those verses with no help whatsoever. That is the greatest effort. Now that she has all the hidden meanings, she just has to do it into English. But while maintaining the grammatical accuracy and all the hidden meanings have to come out. So I'll have to double check that when she does it. Hopefully we'll be able to publish something else.
So I misunderstood that you're considering writing a commentary on it yourself?
Yeah, the verses need a commentary, Prabhu. Without a commentary, you cannot understand the dual meanings. If I just give a translation, you will not be able to understand the dual meanings. So the commentary specifies what are the hidden meanings behind the verses. And those devotees who have seen the Hindi publication, they know that there is the commentary in Hindi behind most of the verses.
Thank you for clarifying, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Have you seen the cover art?
The what?
The cover art. The cover.
Yes.
That was selected. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That same cover will be used, and we'll try to bring it out in about a year or so.
It's beautiful cover art.
Yes.
Yeah. Who did it?
It was done by an artist from Kerala. I wanted to personally select somebody who's very good at drawing Krishna-based art. It was done by an artist named Abhilash from Kerala. That is where I found a good painter to do it.
Excellent work, Prabhuji. So much thoughtfulness and care.
Yes.
Next we have Akshay Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Guruji Dandat. My question was related to Ras Leela. So in Bhagavatam, we read that there is a Falashruti that whoever hears this narration, it gets liberated from the lust. But when we read the Rasa section, we see that the demigods who are watching from the aeroplanes, they are getting agitated. And to great extent, when we read also, we don't get that feeling, okay, we are getting liberated from lust. So is there some qualification for that, or what is the right understanding of that Falashruti?
The first thing that I was taught by my Gurujanas is that Bhagawan's body is not made out of 7 dhatus, 7 material substances: skin, flesh, blood, fat, bone, marrow, semen. These are sapta dhatus, 7 material elements of every material body: skin, flesh, blood, fat, bone, marrow, semen. Prabhupada lists them in many places. Krishna's body is not made out of any of these material elements. So when that is out of the picture, so there is no projecting of one's material desires on the Rasa Leela. Because in Tattva, Krishna's body is not made out of the 7 substances, 7 dhatus. So this was one of the first things that was taught to me. Secondly, the verse that you mentioned, which comes at the end of the Ras Panchadhyay, Vikriditam Brajavadu Biridam Cha Vishnu Shraddhanvita Anushunuyad Atha Varnayedyah. It gives a qualification, and I will specify the qualification. This is 10:33:39. I'm sharing my screen. Vikriditam Brajavadu Biridam Cha Vishnu Shraddhanvita Anushunuyad Atha Varnayedyah. Bhaktim Param Bhagavati Pratilabhya Kamam Hridrogamashvapahinot Achirena Dhira. So this is the verse, and in this verse there is a very nice condition mentioned. The condition mentioned is Shraddhanvito. So Prabhu, what is the meaning of Shraddhanvito? Can you tell me?
One who hears with faith.
Right, one who hears with faith. Wonderful. So one who hears with faith, basically, Shraddha is the first step. Ado Shraddha Tatha Sadhu Sangotha Bhajana Kriya. Shraddha is the first stage on the path of bhakti. So Shraddhanvito also means basically one who hears with faith in the Guru and one who puts faith in the narrations that the Guru has given. And one does not cook up one's own imaginations about the Rasalila. Whatever Shastra, whatever Gurujanas have said, that has to be accepted as it is, and one should not add anything to that particular narration. So one has to hear from a very proper source. That is mentioned in the verse itself. Shraddhanvito Anushrunuyat. Anushrunuyat means one should constantly hear from such sources. One should repeatedly hear from such sources. And then Dhira. One gradually will become Dhira. Dhira means most sober. One has to understand that Rasalila is not about material enjoyment of a man with a woman. Rasalila is about the highest expression of Bhakti Ras that can ever take place in the entire creation. When you look at it from the point of view of Bhakti Ras, that is when we understand that Rasalila is actually about Rasa. Therefore, I said Rasanam Samoho Rasa. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explained what is Rasa. He could have said basically, the kissing, the embracing is Rasa. No, he says the Rasas which are derived from all these activities. That is what Rasa is. So when one looks for the principle of Rasa, and when one is not eager so much for hearing about the enjoyment, but for the Rasa that was relished, that makes one sober. The main principle is Rasa, Bhakti Rasa. Shraddhanvito, with faith, understand what is the Rasa. So that is what I can say at this point of time. All right.
Thank you, bro.
Let's see. I'm trying to see the hands up. Okay, next. Let's see. Do we have a question yet from? I think we didn't have a question yet from Samarpago.
No, we had.
Oh, okay. All right. I have a question, Prabhuji.
All right. Yes, sir.
Is it self-evident that Rasa Leela is the supreme pastime, and that's why Vrindavan is higher than Mathura, or is there an explanation of why Rasa Leela makes Vrindavan superior?
Rasalila is the combination of all the various rasas of Madhurya. There is union, there is separation. Sometimes Sri Radha gets a little sulky, sometimes Krishna gets a little sulky. All the entire spectrum of Madhurya Ras is brought out in Rasalila. And also, Madhurya Ras is the greatest, is the king of all the rasas. Now, where do we know that Madhurya Ras is the king of all the rasas? So, Srila Rupa Goswami in his writings in the Ujjwal Nilamani, he specifies that Madhurya Ras is the highest Ras. And I will show you where it is. This is Ujjwal Nilamani, first chapter, second verse itself. It is in the Arya meter. Mukhya rasesh purayah samkshepenodito rahasyatvan prithageva bhakti rasarat sabistareno chate madhurah. Bhakti rasa rat. Rat means king, like samrat of rasa. Which rasa? Of all bhakti rasas. So bhakti rasa rat. This is the this is an adjective given to Madhurya rasa by Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada. Because Madhurya rasa is the highest, bhakti rasa rat. And because the full expression of Madhurya rasa, along with all the union and separation, happened in this particular pastime of Rasa Leela. Therefore, and all of this happened in Sri Vrindavan. In which other place do you find such an expression of Madhurya Leela? Please tell me.
You don't.
You don't find. You will not be able to find. So therefore, Vrindavan is superior. Now question is, why is Govardhan superior? Then the question is, why is Radhakund superior? So those are things we have to explore in the future. So that I will not open the secrets right now. But at least we know why Vrindavan is superior.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Next we have Mohit Deshmukh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. My question was, as we see, many of our acharyas are in Madhuryas or Guru.
Yes, slightly louder, Prabhuji. I'm not able to hear.
Hare Krishna. As we see that many of our acharyas are in Madhuryas, but they also give a very detail and depth of the Vatsalya Leela. They opens the depths of the Vatsalya Leela. Like, how can we understand? Because we have listened that the both rasas are vairi. That may be in the Siddha, not in the Sadhaka Deva, but then
people should be able to understand your query. What is the meaning of vairi?
Vairi means the opposite or the and not enemy exactly.
They are incompatibles.
Incompatibles.
Yes. So that Madhurya and Vatsalya rasa are incompatibles. Then how come it is so that a particular acharya is able to personally relish one rasa but describe another rasa equally well?
Also like Sri Surdas ji, like for example, or Sri Hari Suri ji.
So let's take Sri Rupa Goswami himself. When he describes all the rasas, including Shanta rasa, he describes in a very expert manner. And why is he able to describe this rasa in a very expert manner? Because that is what a rasika is. A rasika. What is the meaning of a rasika, Prabhu? Please tell me.
Kanashya, sir. I am not getting that of rasa.
What is the meaning of Kanashya? Is an English translation. Wonderful. Right, but what is the meaning of, in slightly technical terms, what is the meaning of rasika?
When you takes interest or in rasa, like that. Rasika
means rasam vetti anubhavati iti rasika. One who knows all the rasas is known as a rasika. So they know all the rasas. Now rasa is of two main kinds: bhojan rasa, bhakti rasa. Now there is somebody who is a good cook, very good cook. He's a rasika, connoisseur in preparing food. He may have his own preference of what he likes to eat. But does it mean that he cannot write a recipe book? Tell me.
He can write.
So, just because somebody has a personal preference for Madhurya Ras, does it mean that they cannot, glance into or have a glimpse into others? They can have. But they don't live through those other rasas in their Siddha Devas. They see it only from a third person point of view.
Yes.
So, from a second person, from a third person point of view. They don't see it from they don't experience the rasas from a first person point of view. Right? But they can still describe it very well. Right? So, seeing somebody else experience rasa is also an experience of some sorts.
Yes.
But direct experience of rasa is something different. So they can
Like
describe
in
all,
in
like in a
play.
drama. Like they can describe all these rasas, Sakhya, Dasya, etc. But let's say Shri Hanuman comes and starts explaining Dasya Ras. I will guarantee 100% when Shri Hanuman explains Dasya Ras, it will be an explanation that you have never heard before. And you will find aspects which you will not find in any literature. That is Sri Hanuman explaining Dasya Ras. So obviously,
because
when
he's the king, he's the Raja in that.
So obviously, when who has experienced it firsthand, they will be able to bring much more finer nuances of that rasa. But doesn't mean that a person cannot describe their rasas in general. Rupa Goswami has described. Many acharyas have described. That is the answer to the query.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. And for the wonderful analogy.
Next we have Samarpana Gopa Prabhu.
Thank you, Guruji, for the uniqueness of Param Pujya Hari Suri ji. It's really very unique and relishing. My question is about this Tulasi Aarti which we sing every day, which Prabhupada wanted us. So we sing that let me become, Ei Nivedana Dharo Sakhir Anugata Karo Seva Adhikar Diye, etc. So we are clearly asking for becoming assistants to the Sakhis. That is Manjari Bhav. And then last verse, I'm trying to understand properly. So if you can, what is that? Dina Krishna Dase Kohe, Ei Ena Mora hai. Shri Radha Govinda Preme Sada Ena Bhasi. So let me, I don't know the exact translation, but maybe paraphrase. But let me swim in the ocean of love of Radha and Krishna.
Right.
So what does that exactly mean? That means to swim in ocean of love of Radha Krishna, and then we have a position of, means not we, but we aspire for that. So what it means actually that what Kaviraj Goswami is telling us.
All right. So it's not Sri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, it is Dina Krishna Das. So the author is an unknown person. Srila Prabhupada first heard Tulsi Aarti in the Radha Damodar temple. Most likely this Aarti is also not there in the Gaudiya Math. Right? This Aarti is only within the ISKCON society. It was heard by Srila Prabhupada in the Radha Damodar temple. Some Gaudiya Maths might have taken it up, but at the time of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, this was not there. Okay, because this is not the Aarti which was sung in the Gaudiya Math. This Aarti was heard by Srila Prabhupada in the Radha Damodar temple when he was staying there. Dina Krishna Das is an anonymous Vaishnav who has named himself Dina Krishna Das. And that is, he doesn't wish to name himself. So it is not Sri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami.
Oh, really?
Secondly, Dina Krishna Das Kay. Dina Krishna Das says, Ei, yena mura hoy. Please arrange something by which something should happen to me. What should happen to me? Shri Radha Govinda Preme Sada Yena Bhasi. Something by which I will always be submerged in the oceanic waves of, Shri Radha Govinda Prema. So when one attains the body that is being aspired for in the song, which is called Manjari Bhav, at that point of time, the Manjaris have access to Sri Radha Krishna Lila, where other gopis also do not have access. So this is what is Manjari Bhav all about, because they are younger in age and they have access to some particular pastimes which other gopis also may not have access to. Therefore, Manjari Bhav is that aspired chosen one. And Srimati Radharani sometimes comes and confides in one of the Manjaris. For example, when there is Purvarag. Purvarag is when Sri Radha and Krishna have for the first time, they are seeing each other and that attraction is developing. But society is a big hindrance in both of them meeting. So they have secret love for each other, and this is called Purvarag. So to whom can she speak about Purvarag? So she can speak to some confidential Manjari. So Sri Rupa Manjari, she speaks something. In the Padyavali, there are a few verses. So hearing those, the Manjaris also experience from the narrations of Srimati Radharani what is her love for Sri Krishna. So that is hearing the narrations from Srimati Radharani herself. That is submerging oneself in the oceanic love of Sri Radha Govinda. So that is what it is called.
Thank you for explaining the meaning. I never knew this way. And it is not Kaviraj Goswami. Okay, that also is new thing.
Okay.
Anything about the Param Puja Hari Suri ji's, I don't know if it's appropriate to ask, but came to me my mind, so I'm asking whether he or his disciple writes about his position, like our acharyas or
Oh,
some acharya.
no, nothing. Neither he wrote nor his disciple wrote about, because their mode of bhakti is to perform kirtan and smaran. It's not Siddha Pranali or anything like that. They perform kirtan and smaran. And that's what he got through his Guru Parampara, which is the standard Srimad Bhagavatam, perform kirtan and smaran. That's what he got through his Guru Parampara. So there's nothing specific mentioned. But amongst all the 49 chapters, the first 49 chapters of the 10th canto he has commented upon. The biggest volume of commentary is on the Ras Panchadhyaya. So some chapters have almost 400 verses per chapter. So you can say on an average 300 to 400 verses per chapter on those 5 chapters.
Wow.
So that is the volume of his commentary on that. That is the only indication that I have in this direction.
Yes.
Otherwise, I don't have any other indication.
Yes, thank you. That indicates a lot. Thank you.
Next, we have Ananga Mohan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Dandatnam. Thanks a lot for bringing out such jewels from the ocean of literature of the Goswamis. Thank you so much. Prabhuji, my question is an extension to the Mohit Deshmukh Prabhuji's question. Suppose some Guru Janas is in particular mood to the Krishna, maybe in Sakyaras. So whether they are able to guide their disciples in all the rasas, or whether they have to send them to some particular Shiksha Gurus in case. So what is the process?
See, the thing is, if a particular guru is relishing a particular rasa, very likely he will strongly influence his followers also in that particular rasa. Very likely he will influence his followers in that particular rasa. Still, if and secondly, why will a particular follower select a guru who is not compatible with his rasa? Earlier, when people used to select gurus, there was a period of waiting 1 year of testing, mutual testing between the guru and the disciple. If the disciple has lobha from previous lives for another rasa, there was 1 year of testing. Why will the disciple select a guru who belongs to another rasa? Now, let's say for some reason incompatibility arises. Then the only solution is, because see, it's not simply about giving that rasa. It's also about giving shiksha in the details of relishing that particular rasa. So details of shiksha of relishing that particular rasa will be available with a rasik of that particular rasa. So that is possible when that particular guru allows you to go take shelter of somebody else. Like it happened with Sri Shyamanand Prabhu. He was Dukhi Krishna Das. His guru was in Sakyaras, but he had lobha for, no, his guru was Sri Hriday Chaitanya Prabhu. And he was himself having lobha for Madhurya Vatsalya after coming in contact with Sri Jiva Goswami. So there was some controversy at that time, but finally he could take shelter of Srila Jiva Goswami. That's how, you know, these things will work out eventually.
Prabhuji, this type of this controversy, sometimes it is called as a leela of the acharyas. But whether it is a controversy in that sense because of incompatibility, or whether it is a leela in true sense by the Lord, arranged by the Lord for instructing the future generations.
Well, nothing is mentioned in Shastra about this. Some devotees perceive it as a leela of Bhagawan. Some devotees perceive it as a, you know, an incident of controversy. Anyways, you know, whatever happens in the lives of the acharyas, we at least understand it to be a leela, although the leela may externally take the form of a controversy. So that is what it is.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next, we have Omkar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
You went back on mute. Let's see. You should be able to.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Yes. Prabhu, I had a question about this point that the residents in the Vaikuntha Loka, or the spiritual world, are all the people the connoisseurs of Rasa, Rasika? Because as we see, any person who gets a service in the Vaikuntha Loka, he will be situated in a specific rasa with Lord. But at the same time, we see that at the time of sadhana, many other Vaishnavas, they may not consider rasa as a point of explanation of a bhakti. So it seems like in sadhana, they do not have any idea about rasa. But like in Vaikuntha, they kind of start having reciprocations. Although they do have the reciprocations here also, but the understanding about what is a rasa or etc. is not present at least the sadhaka stage.
It's not that every devotee has to know the rasa theory. In theory, they have to know what is rasa in order to be able to be a rasik. There are some devotees who just directly experience the rasa. The Bhagavatam says, Muho Raho Rasika. Does it apply only to Gaudiya Vaishnavas or to all Vaishnavas?
It applies to all Vaishnavas.
So all Vaishnavas from all sampradayas can be rasikas. There is no doubt about it. Some may be knowing the rasa theory in great detail, some may not be knowing the rasa theory in great detail. But when they read the literature of their specific mood, the rasa is generated within their heart. Like somebody sits for a drama. Do they have to know rasa theory before relishing rasas in a drama, or even without knowing rasa theory, they can?
Without knowing the rasa theory also they can.
So
but although knowing it will enhance their relation.
Knowing it means you will have, they will know the new finer nuances of what they are experiencing, etc. So that's good. It's good to have that sort of a knowledge, but it's not compulsory, because experience of rasa is a different thing, and knowing what rasa is a different thing.
Yes, thank you for that.
I have another question, Prabhuji.
Sure.
I was wondering if you could clarify what you said earlier. You were talking about how we should read or hear Krishna's pastimes, and I think what you were saying is we shouldn't focus so much on the external gestures like dancing or kissing, but on the rasa. How does one do that? What does that mean?
See, Prabhuji, most people who have material senses are affected by lust, and they don't have good samskaras often. So when they hear Rasa Leela, their material senses get agitated, because that is where their focus, that is the focal point in their Rasa Leela. That is what they hear Rasa Leela for. A person who hears under a realized devotee, the realized devotee points out. See, it's not about, how to put it in words, the physical aspect of the union between Krishna and the gopis. Although physical is not a proper word for it. It's not about, the physical aspect of union between Krishna and the gopis. It's about the feelings that they exchanged, mainly about the feelings that were exchanged. Because how old was Sri Krishna when the Rasa dance happened? Tell me.
Very young.
Very young. It's another question as to how such a Leela can be enjoyed at that age. Sri Sanatan Goswami answers that. But I'll not get into that right now. But it's mainly about the beauty of the interactions. I want to quote a verse here. I'm tempted to quote a verse here, but I don't know how appropriate it is. I'll take the risk and quote the verse anyways. All right. At the end of the Ujjwal Nilmani, Sri Rupa Goswami, because the final chapter is about Shringar Bhed, the divisions of Madhurya Rasa. So at the end of it, Sri Rupa Goswami says something. And this is 15th chapter, verse number 253. I don't recommend anybody just directly go and read the verse without reading what is previous to it. So I'm just showing this particular verse to make a point. Please don't, start reading the book without proper eligibility. Sri Rupa Goswami says, Vitagdhanam mitho lila vilasena yatha sukham na tatha samprayogena syad evam rasika viduhu. What a wonderful verse Rupa Goswami says. Vidagdhanam, for those who are experts, connoisseurs, Vidagdha, expert connoisseurs. Mitho lila vilasena yatha sukham, the sukha, the happiness that they get in the exchanges of Radha Krishna, the leelas of Radha Krishna, the happiness that they derive, na tatha samprayogena. They don't derive that happiness from that union, physical union of Sri Radha and Krishna, as much as they derive from the interactions of Radha and Krishna. Evam rasika vidu. This is the conclusion of those who are truly rasikas. So, because most people, when they hear Rasa Leela, their material senses get agitated because they are focusing upon, the physical activity, or which in gross terms is called sex. But Sri Rupa Goswami says, Leela vilasena yatha sukham. The happiness which is there in the sweetness of interactions, that happiness is not there by hearing about samprayog. Samprayog is a term for physical union. Na tatha samprayogena. Syad evam rasika vidu. The actual rasikas will teach you this fact. So, this is something which is not usually taught. It is not, you'll rarely find a person who knows and understands these things. So unless a person knows and understands these things, it is very difficult to understand what the Rasa Leela is about. It is about an exchange of rasas through the various leelas that took place. Then the person understands, oh, in the material world also, actually speaking, in the material world also, I falsely think that sex life is attractive. In the material world, actually, happiness, true happiness is in relishing bhakti rasa. When a person comes to that point, then you have to understand that the knot in his heart has been slackened. And his liberation begins at that particular point.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for this very high understanding. I'd like to just verify with you my understanding of what you said. In the material world, we find our enjoyment our happiness, our good in the contact of the senses with the sense objects.
Right.
Some sparsha jaboga.
Right.
And sometimes people have a misunderstanding when they read Krishna's pastimes that, oh, this is another type of some sparsha jaboga. But that's a mistake. What we should see instead is that the particular physical actions that are being taken by Krishna and his eternal associates, they're all expressions of the deepest love.
Right.
And to give happiness to the other. And we should really focus on the love behind the actions and not the actions themselves, and especially not compare them to our actions in this world. Is that right?
Yes. Our actions in this world, especially, see, our actions, the activity of sex in the material world has a technical term in Sanskrit. It is called Pashu Kriya. Pashu Kriya means animalistic behavior. That is what, sex in the material world is labeled in Sanskrit as Pashu Kriya. So Pashu Kriya is not the goal of Rasa Leela. That is not what Rasa Leela is all about. Although Rupa Goswami gives a term for it, samprayog. Samprayog means union of the bodies is called samprayog. So that's okay. As I specified in the previous talk also, Prabhupada also says there is sex in the spiritual world. All right, wonderful. That has been specified in the previous talks also. Prabhupada also says that. But that is not the focal point of the entire Rasa Leela. The focal point is the sweetness of the interactions. The rasa is in the interactions. The rasa is in how Srimati Radharani and Krishna deal with each other. That is where the rasa is. And people are finding rasas in all the wrong places. And therefore, they are not able to understand what Rasa Leela is all about. There is no harm in relishing the sweetness of interactions. But there is harm in projecting one's materialistic desires upon the Rasa Leela. Right? Although this, I will ask you a very simple question, Prabhuji, and please answer this question. In the material world, let's say there is a man and he has two love affairs. One love affair is with a person, with a lady who did not interact so nicely with him. So they broke up. Another love affair is with a lady who interacted very nicely with him. But with both ladies, he has had Pashu Kriya. Pashu Kriya means he has engaged in sex life. But with whom materially does he find greater joy? This is all purely on the materialistic platform. With whom will he find greater joy?
The one who treats him badly.
Badly?
I've seen this in my counseling.
Oh my goodness. No. Then he shouldn't have left her. Between an abusive relationship and a loving relationship, what will a human being prefer?
A loving relationship.
Yeah, a person in the proper frame of mind who's not psychologically ill.
A healthy person would want the loving relationship.
All right. Yeah, I know there are twisted people who want to get abused and something. I'm not speaking about them. Correct. So the Pashu Kriya is same in both relationships. But what is more relishing in the loving relationship?
The actual important thing is the love between two people.
That is what it is all about, even in the spiritual world. Rupa Goswami is telling us that samprayog is not the final point of Rasa Leela. The final point is Leela Vilas, the sweetness of the interactions. That is what it is all about. So in all the literatures of the Goswamis, you will not find any ashleel or any vulgar descriptions of the physical act. Why? Because it was never about that. That is what Manjari Bhav is all about. Right. So I think a lot has been spoken.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. There's a question from Nilachala Chandrika Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
My apologies.
Following the answer and the question discussion between you and Mahaprabhu, Dhameshwar Prabhu, when this the knot in the heart slackens, is it because of Guru or is it because of Kripa of Bhagawan?
It's only by Kripa of Bhagawan and obviously by Kripa of Guru, instructions of Guru, that a person comes to the point wherein they realize that the actual object of relishment in this world is not Pashukriya. There is no relishment in Pashukriya. The relishment in Pashukriya is on a purely physical level, and it is not satisfactory at all. But from a really transcendental point of view, the Leela Vilas, the Bhakti Ras that exists in the material world, even in the material world, it is Bhakti Ras which is worthy of relishment. Not even the rasas of the material world. It is actually Bhakti Ras which is worthy of relishment. But Swalpa Punya Vatam Rajan Vishwaso Naiva Jayate. One cannot put faith in that unless one is convinced. And you cannot forcibly convince yourself. No, today I heard a principle. Now I have to forcibly. People make a mistake. That they heard something nice, now they will force themselves to convince them. You don't have to beat yourself into convincing yourself. Conviction comes through proper hearing, proper meditation upon the Siddhantas and time. So that sort of conviction takes time and it takes maturity. Not that simply because you heard today and then, okay, tomorrow I know now what to do. Rupa Goswami told that, oh, Leela Vilas is the main point of Madhurya Ras. All right, Rupa Goswami told. But still the senses are strong. But now the senses are like toothless snakes, tangless snakes. It is what it is. Now Rupa Goswami will not let you forget what Madhurya Ras was all about. Then even if you spend many lives in the material world, you pray only for one thing, that let this understanding remain. Whichever birth I may take, let this understanding remain with me. Now I am okay spending any number of lives in the material world. It doesn't matter whether I go back home, back to Godhead or not. Because now my heart has arrived at the proper place. As long as I get to hear the narrations of Sri Radha and Krishna in the association of like-minded devotees, I am willing to take another birth. And that is called as giving up of the desire of liberation.
Yes, Prabhuji. And is this, it comes on the stage of bhava, usually? Any in the progress, or is it just?
Well, I cannot, because whatever the acharyas have not specified, I cannot label a specific stage to it. You can say that nishtha, this nishtha takes place in the heart, that this is what it is. So from my experience, I can say that one becomes firmly fixed nishtha. This is what it is all about. And then one hears those narrations from proper sources. One knows that it is not material rasa. One knows what is bhakti rasa. One knows how to relish it. One knows what is the purpose. And all these realizations that you heard today, for example, the ones that Sri Hari Suri is giving, tell me where in the material world have you seen such descriptions of materialistic romance? And that this question not only to you, but to anybody else who has. Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu, question to you. Where did you find in the material world such a spectrum of love?
Nowhere.
Nowhere.
So, Prabhu, love is what keeps the world going round, right? That's what we say. So, if there is nothing in the material world which has such a spectrum of love, then what should we select, Prabhu?
The love of the spiritual world.
So you make that choice. That's voluntarily you made the choice. Now you become antarmukha. The jiva has turned towards Sri Krishna. When he has voluntarily, happily made the choice after understanding all the facts, like they ask you in a court of law, with full awareness, are you willing to sign the document? That's how the choice has to be made. All right, Mataji.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji. Done with prayer. Thank you so much.
All right. I'm glad we got more questions. Thought we were running out for a second. Next we have Bhagavati Vasudha Devi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you. Thank you so much for this very, very beautiful class. I couldn't see Prabhuji. Yeah, it's there.
Will you please speak up or bring the microphone closer to your mouth? Thank you.
Prabhuji, you can hear me? Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Pranam.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji. So we were talking about this level of bhakti, that only bhakti is the highest thing one person realizes, and that is the point that not has been removed.
No, Mataji, this is a very simple representation of what I said. What I said was a very deep principle from Srila Rupa Goswami. You'll have to hear it again in order to understand it. What Rupa Goswami said was a very specific thing. Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu, can you rephrase what Sri Rupa Goswami was saying at the end of the Ujjwal Nilamani?
That devotees who are expert Vedagta in relishing rasa, they focus on the expressions of love between the devotees and not on some prayoga or physical.
Expressions of love between whom?
Radha and Krishna.
Wonderful. Yeah. Rather than the samprayoga between Radha and Krishna. So, yatha sukham, the happiness that they get in the mutual exchanges is much greater than the happiness of samprayoga. Samprayoga is a very decent term. Let's use this term henceforth. So, the happiness of mutual exchanges is much greater than the happiness of samprayoga. And this is the experience of the Rasikas. So, Mataji, this is what was said. It's a very specific thing.
Yes,
did you have?
Yes. Understood. Yeah, I'm getting to understand this. My question is, in this relation, where does the Vaishnava Prat comes? In the previous sessions, I understood Dharma doesn't matter. But in this level, if someone is so much in that bhava or love for Krishna and wanting to hear Katha and wanting to serve Guru and Krishna, sometimes because of that lot of eagerness or lobha, the Vaishnava Prat, not with Uttamadhikari, but with other platform of devotees, it might happen. So
No.
How does it count?
No.
It counts.
You were already instructed how to deal with various levels of devotees. Krishna iti yasya giritam manasadriyet dikshasti chet pranatibhischa bhajantam isham. In that verse, Rupa Goswami very clearly told how we should deal with various levels of devotees, and this instruction is not going to go away no matter what stage of bhakti you achieve in your sadhaka day.
If they are coming in between your lobha and your seva.
If they are coming in between one's seva, then one should know how to respectfully avoid association without disrespecting them. that art one will learn by the time one has lobha. Many devotees are asking the question assuming that they have lobha. I have to specify that lobha is not very easily attainable. Because by the time a person attains lobha, they attain eligibility for Raganuga Bhakti, they will have most of the characteristics that are needed to progress. They will know what is to be done because they will be under the guidance of a very good guru. And then they will know how to avoid these things. How to avoid unfavorable people. That's very important. Without causing Vaishnava Aparadha.
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, only one small thing. This desire to hear the katha of Radha Krishna is very much important, and that is the highest thing. And in that, sometime this next thing is in reciprocation for awarding this to us, to Krishna and Guru, we would like to serve. Is this understanding correct? Because one cannot always be in that rasa. Just to reciprocate to Guru and Krishna for giving this opportunity or situation or shiksha. Is that understanding correct?
Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu, did you understand the question?
I didn't understand.
So
Mataji,
when is this?
one thing I'd like to ask, have you heard all the previous talks or not yet?
Yes, Prabhu, I have heard.
All of them?
Maybe one or, yeah.
All right. Because see, there is a distinction between sadhaka deha, the body in which we are currently serving, and siddha deha, the body which we aspire for. The sadhaka deha, we continue to serve the Guru and the Vaishnavas. Those distinctions were made very clear and obvious in the previous talks, that you have to serve simultaneously through two bodies, the sadhaka body and the siddha body. And the sadhaka body is how you serve the Guru. And that service is always going to be there, Mataji. So if the distinction between sadhaka and siddha deha is clear, then this query should not arise.
Yes, Prabhu, it reminded me that point. Thank you, Prabhu.
Next, we have a question from Ananga Mohan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, my question is, we have heard that there is two process of Raganuga Bhakti. One is by the given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the Vakreshwar Pandit, and other path to the Raghunath Das Goswami. Okay. So, Shravan Dasha, Varana Dasha, and Smaran Dasha, and other Dashas. So, basically, these are similar, I think. But when this is conceived spiritual body by which the meditation or smaran to be done in the Vakreshwar Pandit process, it is given by the Guru, Ekadash Bhav for the Madhurya Bhav especially. But if this process of Raghunath Das Goswami, which is more of the internal process, how the process exactly works, whether due to the holy name or guidance of the Guru, it will be automatically, spontaneously revealed to the sadhaka. Whether this in understanding is correct?
See, Prabhuji, there are these terms, Antah Pantha and Bahir Pantha, they are mentioned by Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur in his writings. Right? So, the Bahir Pantha, that is the external path, which was given to Sri Dhyan Chandra Goswami, etc. The internal path to Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, etc. So you can, if you, a complete explanation of this is not feasible here in the answer to a query. But if you read through Chaitanya Shikshamrit, Jaiva Dharma, etc., you will find the similarities and differences between Antah Pantha and Bahir Pantha. So, also you will come to know about Mantramayi and Svarishiki Upasana. So those things, knowledge of those things is important, but in an answer to a query, it is not feasible to get into the details of Antar Pantha and Bahir Pantha. But whatever was given to Sri Raghunatha Das Goswami, that path is Rupa Raghunath is the ideal for Gaudiya Vaishnavism, although other personalities are also respectable. That is what I can say.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. I'll refer that. Thank you.
Next, we have a question from Vishwadeep Roy Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hmm.
I have actually a practical question on practical problem. So today, as we have heard about so much about Rasa, and it's so nectarious and relishing, but from the previous class, we also got an idea about how important it is to learn the original languages through which we can get an entry to all the literatures. But we see that when we try to learn the original language, especially Sanskrit, it's really very dry there. And especially if we read through Ashtadhyayi and all. So, and as we have got some taste from bhakti also, so our heart also hankers for it also. So at the beginning stage of bhakti, how should a devotee manage, and how, at what proportion the time should be distributed? So should a devotee learn the grammar first, as a general case? Should he learn the grammar first and then he go for going deep in the literatures, or should it go simultaneously?
See, the thing is, I did not very much go through this dilemma in my own life, because when I was being taught grammar in childhood, I was not exposed to bhakti. And when I was exposed to bhakti, a lot of the grammar had already been learned. So my situation is different, and what you might be experiencing is different. If you have taken up a resolution to learn Sanskrit grammar, it is obvious that the language is not, it is not going to give you a very sweet experience, especially what bhakti is giving. So Jiva Goswami says in Harinamamrit Vyakarane Marunivritti Jivan Lubdha Sada Sasambhigna Harinamamritam Etat Pibantu Shatadavagahanta. Vyakarane Marunivritti. Vyakarana is like a desert. That is, grammar is like a desert. You're scraping your heart with sandpaper when you are learning grammar. The sutras are difficult, and they are very harsh on the ear and very harsh on the heart. That is what it is. Right? But that is the austerity of student life. When we say that we are students, what is the austerity of student life? Because nowadays, students don't take much austerity. They just have to copy paste from the internet. That is what student life is all about. Previously, student life means you have to memorize the sutras. Ashtadhyayi, it's Panini's literature. We start with the first sutra. Vriddhi radhai chadain gunaha iko guna vriddhi na dhatu loka adadat ke tichara diti vedita. Go all the way up to that is the final sutra of the final chapter. That you have to memorize all of that, and then you have to know the meanings of the sutras, and then you have to know how to form the words out of the sutras. All of that labor simply for forming words. Right? But once you are in, and plus on top of that, you need to be a connoisseur. You need to be a kavi, a rasik. And on top of that, you need to learn how to relish the literature. On top of that, you need to learn how to not have any siddhantic problems in your understanding. On top of that, you should be able to teach to others. That's why it's very rare to find that combination, right? But if you are practically,
Prabhuji, we found him.
I'm still I still consider myself a student of Sri Rupa Goswami, but practically If you are studying grammar, you should study grammar with all rigor, because it will help you. It will help you. It is the austerity, it is the topmost austerity of student life, to scrape your heart with that sandpaper. Bhaskaracharya says, Yo veda veda vadanam sadanam hi samyak brahmya savedam api veda kimanya shastram yasmadatah prathamam etad vidvan shastrantarasya bhavati shravane adhikari. Let thousands of people give thousands of negative opinions about grammar. Yo veda veda vadanam, one who knows grammar, which is the face of the Vedas. Sadanam hi samyak brahmya, grammar is the abode of Saraswati. So Vedam api Veda, he will understand even the Vedas, Kimanya Shastram, what to speak of other Shastras. Tasmat atah prathamam etad adhitya vidvan, therefore the vidvan first learns grammar. Shastrantarasya bhavati shravane adhikari, then he becomes eligible for learning other Shastras. Once a devotee told me, Prabhu, you don't need to understand Sanskrit in order to understand Bhagavatam. I said, all right, I don't need to understand Sanskrit in order to understand the message of the Bhagavatam. But if I want to understand the words of the Bhagavatam, I need to know the language. And then I asked him a question, what is the first verse of the Bhagavatam? Vishwadi Prabhu, do you know what is the first verse of the Bhagavatam?
Yes, Prabhuji.
What is the first verse?
जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरया
All right.
तेजो
Wonderful. All right. You know the first verse. So, Lord Krishna expanded the 4 Vedas in the heart of Brahma. Right?
Yes.
What is the term for Vedas in that first verse?
Brahma.
Wonderful. You know. Which term expresses a verb, kriya, in that verse?
Many kriyas, right? Muhyanti.
Okay.
And
Lord Krishna expanded. Which is the term for expanded in the verse? The 4 Vedas in Brahma's heart. Which is the term for expanding? Tene.
Tene.
So, if you know all these details, you have seen the verse from angles that others have not seen. For no, see, a good carpenter knows his tools very well. If you want to learn the Bhagavatam in great detail, so you can either know the essential message of the Bhagavatam without learning the grammar, but if you want to know each and every nook and corner, you will have to have knowledge of the language. So the choice is yours. Depending on how much time you have, you should give some time every day to learning grammar, if you are so willing. But those who are not willing, they can also understand the message of the Bhagavatam. It's not compulsory for everyone. So that's the answer to it.
Thank you, Prabhu.
I have another question, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Would it be correct to say that although the 5 dashas can be used to describe, in various ways the process of bhakti, specifically and originally it's meant to describe the progression of Raganuga bhakti?
Yes, obviously. Because Smaran Dasha, Smaran is mainly meant for Raganuga bhakti. Other devotees who attain perfection through limbs other than Smaran, for them, why do you need Smaran Dasha? Smaran Dasha is specifically meant for, Smaran is specifically meant for Raganuga bhakti. And I had showed that quote from Raghuvatma Chandrika of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, where he mentions about Smaran. I will show once again that quote from Raghuvatma Chandrika. He says, Prathamatah Krishnam Smaran. First and foremost, while remembering Krishna, Smaranasya atra Raganugaya Mukhyatvam. Smaran is main in Raganuga. Okay, very clearly says it. So, wherever Smaran Dasha is mentioned, it is mentioned by keeping in mind Raganuga Bhakti. The entire focus of Gaudiya Vaishnavism is Raganuga Bhakti. Any Acharya you see of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, they will highlight Raganuga Bhakti. because that is the variety of bhakti. And somebody also shared a quote of Prabhupada. Real bhakti is Raganuga bhakti, including Srila Prabhupada. You might have read that quote, which was shared recently in the group. Real bhakti is Raganuga.
Yeah. He said it's para bhakti. Everything else is Kanishta Adhikar.
Yeah.
It seemed like he was being a bit hyperbolic.
Right. So, but this is what Gaudiya Vaishnavism is all about. By the time one reaches the 8th verse of Upadeshamritam, these things should become very clear. So, okay.
And next we have Nilachala Chandrika Mataji.
She has another. Okay, Mataji, you have another query?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
We hear that from Brahma Samhita, Shriya Kanta Parama. So there is Viraha in the Golok Vrindavan, or it's only just in the Bhoma Vrindavan?
No, Viraha is there.
Is...
Obviously, Viraha is there. There is what is called as Pravas. Pravas means when Krishna goes away during the day, the gopis are not able to see him. This Pravas, this variety of Viraha is described by Sri Rupa Goswami in Ujjwal Dinmani.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, right.
Na vina vipralambhe na sambhogah pushtimashnute kashaite hi vastradau bhuyan raga vivartate. I'll take up this verse next time. Without separation, union will not become tasty. This will come up.
Yes, yes.
Also, what is the importance of separation? That is also, it's very important to understand what is the importance of separation. So, so that will, because right now we are arrived at the middle of the Rasa Leela where Krishna has accepted, the proposal of the gopis. The dance is taking place, but gradually something is going to happen. Now we will take it up next time.
Yes, okay. But that sort of Vira is just like the gopis were in separation during Ras. It's this, can we classify the Vira, or it's just the same when he's going for Pravas or when it's from the middle of the Ras dance?
The Viraha which is there during Rasa Leela is of a different nature. It is called Prema Vaichitya. Krishna absent although he is present. Is he really gone away from the gopis, or is he still present there just hiding? What is happening in Rasa Leela?
Just hiding.
So that is called Prema Vaichitya. That's a different technical term. Unless we understand the technical terms, it is not possible to understand what are the, because Rupa Goswami is a Rasik. So just follow the paths given by Rupa Goswami. Follow the path. That's all. Nothing else we have to do. All the technicalities have already been figured out. So all we have to do is just understand what he has told us. The opportunity is available for each and every one of us to understand. Otherwise, let's say we take birth in another universe where Rupa Goswami is not there. Can you imagine a universe where Rupa Goswami has not appeared? And you have to figure it out all by yourself. Would you like to take birth in such a universe, Mataji?
No way, Prabhuji. No way.
All right. So that's how much we owe our existence to Rupa Goswami. Each and every breath that we are taking on this path of bhakti has been leased, has been rented to us by Sri Rupa Goswami. We are actually living on rent.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Otherwise, we don't have the money to build another house. We don't have the money to write another Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. We don't have the capacity to write another Ujjwal Nirmani. We are all rented guests in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Upadeshamritam, and Ujjwal Nirmani. That's what we are. Right. Some of us have seen all the quarters. Some of us are yet to see all the quarters of the home. It's good and it's advisable to see all the quarters of the home. Don't die in lack of knowledge. Don't die in lack of knowledge. Don't die in ignorance. That is very important. All right.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Done with Pranam.
So before signing off, Prabhuji, I want to thank you for something. This understanding that you've given about looking for the feelings of love in the devotees and in Krishna for each other, and not focusing so much on the physical actions, has been incredibly valuable for me in my spiritual life, because I've heard some vague warnings about hearing Krishna Lila, and I think it leaves me and a lot of other devotees in this kind of feelings of insecurity, where we know there's some danger, but we don't know quite what it is. It's a little vague, and so then we just don't go there. And then we're deprived of the real sweetness of the substance we're looking for in the first place with our spiritual life. So just you clarifying this understanding has given me a lot of confidence to move forward in my spiritual life, a lot of enthusiasm, and I'm just getting so much more connection and taste and motivation in my spiritual life as I'm hearing more directly about the sweetness of Krishna and his devotees.
I sincerely hope and pray that all those devotees who are hearing the Upadeshamritam, all of them get to learn and know the literature of Sri Rupa Goswami. All of them become dhira. So as soon as one understands the mood of Rupa Goswami, one will immediately become dhira, very sober. And then, vacho vegam, manasah krodha vegam, jivva vegam, udaropastha vegam, etan vegan yo vishaheta dhira, sarvam api imam prithivim sashishyat. So I pray that this comes true for all the devotees who are listening to Sri Upadeshamritam.
Tadastu. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I'll invite all the other devotees to unmute and give a big thank you to Hari Parsha Prabhu.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hari Parsha Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for the class.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Hari Parsha Prabhu ki.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Jiva
Like
Goswami.
Srila Rupa Goswami has personally empowered you to bless us.
Well, I doubt that. I doubt that, but
And we
I
are,
hope.
and
At
we
least
are,
for me and
and we are very fortunate.
Hare Krishna.
Very fortunate. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Hare
Thank you to all the devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.